Break down Amazon earnings for us. What do you think the highlights are?
Well, look, we just spent 10 minutes talking about how Apple is trying to make the iPhone X work better, how they're lowering guidance, how they sold fewer phones in the quarter, how the phone might be too expensive. And now we're talking about Amazon, where the biggest success story in these results is what happened with Alexa and how Alexa has become this giant platform with over 30,000 skills available. How, as you mentioned, Jeff Bezos said in the press release, they're going to double down. And that we are at this really important inflection point where the most important device in the world, in the iPhone, well, I just talked to Scott Galloway on Bloomberg Radio, and he says this is the moment. This is exactly right now, today, the most important moment in technology we've seen in a decade, where the leader in technology is no longer Apple, and now it's the Amazon Alexa. And that this inflection point is so important because computing is moving from the phone to voice, and Amazon owns it, and Apple blew it, and you can see it in the results that both companies announced today. And you know, the open platform, the Apple-like platform, with open to multiple developers and also to multiple hardware developers. Look at what Sonos is doing with the Alexa, for example. That Amazon is reaping the benefits of this. Amazon is getting services revenue already in the ways, you know, 2/3 of American households are Amazon Prime members. Amazon Alexa is part of that ecosystem. They're already in the place where Apple says it wants to be.
I did have a fairly long conversation with Tim Cook here about the HomePod, which is now out to the public in a matter of days. And I asked, do you think you missed a category that you let Amazon get away with that you really should have led? And he said, I think quite the opposite. I don't think we missed anything. And he talked about this idea that a personal assistant, really the #1 personal assistant, is your phone, and they have Siri there. And their conception of HomePod is really much more as, yes, a personal assistant, but more importantly, as a music and audio device. Well, look,
I mean, they missed their release date. They missed their own release date. Yeah.
History still has yet to be written. You know, we don't know how the HomePod is going to do. So I want to bring in Crawford on this. Crawford,
Sure.
What do you think? Do you think Apple missed it? Can they catch up?
Yeah, so look, to Corey's point, Alexa's got over 4,000 home-connected devices now in their ecosystem. So has Apple missed it? Apple may not have missed it, but boy, they sure are looking at taillights going way over the horizon. They're going to have to do one thing, and that is attract massive amounts of developers to their platform to pay attention to HomePod and to really then go out and do all the missionary work to get people onto this platform. I mean, I just want to add one thing to what Corey said, and that is that AWS grew 45% in the quarter. As AWS gets stronger, it's a platform that brings developers in to enable things like Alexa. So now they're into this virtuous cycle that just gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's a pretty big moat. Is it unassailable for Apple? No, nothing's unassailable, but Apple has got a heck of a lot of work to do in order to close a gap.